Hello there, my hypothetical audience, and welcome back to Ordinary Gaming, where today we are playing some Dark Souls 2. I just recently picked this game up on Steam. Wanted to play it on the computer and all that fun junk. I've been toying around with it a little bit, trying to get some capture to work. This game doesn't really like fraps from what I've seen. But whatever, we're gonna give it a shot.
Perhaps you've seen it.
Oh, I remember
Maybe
this.
in
This
a
is
dream. A murky,
This is a very long
forgotten
cutscene
land.
right here. I'm gonna be quiet for it. It's actually pretty good.
A place where souls may mend your ailing mind. You will lose everything. Once branded, the symbol of the curse, an augur of darkness. Your past, your future, your very light. None will have meaning, and you won't even care. By then, you'll be something other than human. A thing that feeds on souls, a hollow. Long ago, in a walled-off land far to the north, a great king built a great kingdom. I believe they called it Drang Lake. Perhaps you're familiar. No, how could you be? But one day, you will stand before its decrepit gate without really knowing why.
That is a hell of a face right there.
Like a moth drawn to a flame, your wings will burn in anguish. Time after time. For that is your fate. The fate of the cursed.
Well, that sure was something, wasn't it? Holy crap. Actually, something I find really funny about Dark Souls 2 as compared to Dark Souls 1 is the fact that that opening cutscene sort of revolves entirely around you and your character. Whereas, if you've played Dark Souls 1, you know the opening cutscene revolves entirely around the mythology of the game. I think that's an appropriate change for... Oh, good, these old ladies. That's an appropriate change for the,
What seems to be the ruckus?
well, just the different tone this game seems to take.
Your face. The face of the
Yeah, well, you're no treasure either, lady.
It's an undead.
No, do you think? Was it the green skin that gave it
An
away?
undead has come to play. They all end up here. All the ones like you. You spoke to that kind old dear, didn't you? You're finished. You'll go hollow. Yes. You'll become
Okay,
one of them.
we've already covered this. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry about skipping that. Basic gist of what they were going on about was, you know, you'll become hollow, you need souls, welcome to Drang Lake, bitch, kind of things. Let's go with Ordelia. I think that's a good name. Hey, don't you? Shut up. It's my character, I get to pick the name. Oh, what the hell? What the hell is up with the controls here? Okay. It's gonna let me do it now? It is. Cool.
At least you know your own name.
Yeah, it only took a couple tries to remember it.
Here's your reward for sharing. It's a human effigy.
Sure, that's what that is.
Take a closer look. Who do you think it's supposed to be? Think back, deep into your past. Yes, it's an effigy of you.
So, functionally, I get how human effigies are supposed to work, but let's talk about the actual mechanics of that. Supposedly... What do you guys think? Whatever. Eeny, meeny, miny, whatever, we'll just stick with the normal physique. Oh, let's be ripped. Yeah, let's be ripped. That sounds like a good idea to me. Change her face? Does it matter what her face looks like? You know what? You know what? Because I've seen everybody else do it, I feel like I have to have pink hair. Yeah, let's go with pink hair. And dreadlocks, because obviously. And... Whoa! That's not a... Whoa! That is a hell of a nose. You could put an eye out with that nose. Look at that nose! Oh my god. Whatever, I like that one. That one next to the other one. That's good, right? Doesn't really matter what she looks like, let's be honest. As far as classes go, I like that. I like the fact that... You know what? You know what? I think I'm actually gonna go with warrior this time. My first time through this game, I played a cleric, which is pretty awesome. Cleric's pretty cool in this game. Petrified something seems good. You get a lot of utility out of your miracles when you play a cleric. But I want to try some more, something a bit different. And I'll show you what I'm intending to do.
Different, I should think.
When yeah, that looks good. Ordelia the Pink. That's what we are. So, welcome to Dark Souls 2, everybody. It's, kind of pretty, I suppose. Kind of neat. I don't usually play the warrior class in games like this. I usually prefer to sort of keep my distance, be very careful with my attacks, especially in Dark Souls. Dark Souls is a very unforgiving game. I'll show you why we're going this way in a moment, because there's actually a ring over here I want. If you come up here in this little hidden path right here, you walk up here, you see these big-ass footprints? Yeah, I wonder what left those. Well, he's a secret. We're going to fight him. That's who left those. Yeah. Oh, wow. We do not do nearly enough damage. Can I not die on the first enemy? That'd be great. You know what? We're going to come back for him. I didn't realize I'd be doing so little damage to him. If you want to kill that guy the first time through, I would suggest you play as a bandit or a sorcerer. Bandits or sorcerers can just kill him with their starting equipment. But we are using a broken straight sword and a very, very shitty iron parma. And we haven't got the best armor either, so we're probably not going to be able to kill him. On that subject, actually, of equipment, I should say, I'm actually going to quickly head off. If this is your first time watching the game, know that I've already played it. I've already played and beaten this game. I've started a New Game Plus on a different character as well. But if you are just starting the game and you want to get a dagger right off the bat, you can come down into this first tutorial area. This area will give you a rundown of all the basic mechanics of the game, which I think is pretty neat. I'm kind of glad they included something like this, but they also included the ability to just skip right past it, which I think is good. I think it's very good that you can both... Like, this area is completely optional, and I think it's great that they included that. Oh, yeah, get wrecked! Fuck you, and your neck. There's one very specific well, two very specific reasons I'm coming this way. Firstly, I wanted this dagger. And the reason I wanted the dagger was because that shield's practically useless, and I would rather have a dagger, honestly. Now, let me see, are we good enough? Oh, we are! So, here's another thing they added in Dark Souls 2. When you're dual-wielding weapons, you can hold Y in order to enter something called a power stance. That will actually give you a new set of actions assigned to your left bumper and left trigger, which is pretty neat. Now this right here is actually extremely effective combat-wise. Watch this. We do a surprisingly large amount of damage right there. And see, if you go back and forth real fast, you can actually get attacks down really quickly. We're going to be doing a lot of dual wielding with this character, I think. I know I said I might try some sword and board. I also might not. My cleric does sword and board, so I kind of feel like that'd be a bit boring for me to do again on my YouTube character. So instead, I feel like I might go for dual wielding. Now, one or two of you might point out that I should have picked, and this is why we picked the Petrified, something right here. Those of you who have played Dark Souls 1, remember Snuggly the Crow? Well, if you want to get something relatively rare right off the bat, pick this Petrified something as your starting gift and leave it here for Snuggly. There we are. And this is the other reason why we came up here, is so we could kick this ladder so that we could get right to Snuggly instead of walking the entire way around the first time we come up here. I forget what this is. I think is this a torch? Nope, it's souls. That's good. We'll need souls. So let's just get right on into the game. I would like to get to the Forest of the Lost Giants and maybe even beat the first boss in this first video. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm going to try to keep these videos down to about 30 minutes apiece. just because Dark Souls takes such a long time to upload to YouTube. I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong, if my compression is inadequate, but holy crap, it took me nearly 8 hours to get my previous video up. And I'm probably not going to even publish that video because there was some serious issues with it. So hopefully this ends up a bit better. Anyway, welcome to Majula. This is the hub of this game. Sort of, think of it as the Firelink Shrine. Except, did the Firelink Shrine have this many places branching off of it? There isn't really that big a necessity for a hub world in this game, and I'll show you why in a moment.
Who are you? Oh, it doesn't
But
matter.
before I do that,
I
you want to make sure you come and talk to the blacksmith here, so you know that you're supposed to get a key. Do you guys want me to listen to all the dialogue from all the NPCs? I mean, I did it the first time through, and these guys are chatty. These guys are really chatty. I think the way I'm going to do this is if this is your first time watching this game, and you want to hear the dialogue from these people, you're going to have to pause the video and read it, because like I said, I'm doing this in 30-minute fragments. I don't want to waste my time listening to every single NPC. I'll listen to important stuff, but, you know, I'm not listening to all of it. On the subject of important stuff, here we have, you know, Crestfallen Knight Mark II.
You're
He's
undead,
upgraded
aren't you?
from chainmail to plate by the looks of it.
You have that distinct scent. The smell of irreversible fate.
Yeah, we're undead,
This
thank you.
is Majula.
Yes, welcome to Majula. It said that when we came here.
It is a kind of settlement. A place where life is almost normal.
I don't think life is a good
And in
word to
Drang
use to
Lake these
describe what
days,
we do.
There are very few places like that.
Well, this is the only place like this in Drang Lake, as far as I'm aware.
I am Solden. And like you probably heard that it was possible to break the curse. Well, that's not true at all.
Oh, not with an attitude like that, it isn't.
There's no... Do you know much about... Even I'm not... I'm told that the soul... Anything
If
living,
you have played Dark
sentient
Souls
or
1,
knows
all of this is
what
old
we
hat
call
to you,
the curse.
but there is
Do
a
you
specific
see
reason
what
I'm
that
talking to
means
this guy.
To be alive, and that's... There are 4 beings.
See,
in
this is the
land
important
with
part.
giant souls. And wherever you go from here, you'll sooner or later come up against them. Each has a powerful soul and a terrible curse. If that frightens you, then you ought to just give up right now, like I have. Do you ever cry out for help? The journey of an undead is long and treacherous. You'll face
Here's the other
invaders
reason
from
I'm
other-
talking to him.
If you need
He's about to
your
offer us
protection is yours.
a covenant. The Way of the Blue. Basically, the way this covenant works is, should you be invaded by, I think, by a player who is either a, I think it's only the Red, the Brothers of Blood, or whatever they're called. But if you are invaded by one of them, there is a chance that a member of another covenant, known as the Blue Sentinels, will come and give you a hand.
That is a wise decision. Let
Yes. Let them know you're embraced. Anyway, this ring, I believe the effects of the covenant only work when the ring is on. But the ring also slightly increases our health, so it's not bad at all. Here is arguably one of the most important NPCs in this game. This is the, what's your name again? You're the green...
Are you, or merely bearer of the...
God.
I will remain.
She's chatty.
Take
She's
this
chatty as fuck, and I'm gonna skip all of her
Go
dialogue.
on. He who made kings,
Emerald Herald, there you
bearer
go.
of the curse, for misery you will seek those whose
See,
names are
there we go.
unutterable.
Having just been
The four
told that there are
endowed with
4
immense
immense
souls.
souls by Soldan up
souls
there.
will serve as
We come up to the Emerald Herald, and she immediately
Once you
confirms
have
that
found
those are the people we're
Return
going
here to
after.
me, so that hope will not fade away.
Unfortunately, nobody that is presently
Terror
in this village
seeks
will give us any more
lest it
information
is
than
left.
that. You can find information from other NPCs about the various great souls that are scattered throughout the world, the people you have to kill. But, you know, they aren't here, not right now. The reason I'm coming over here is because you come over to this, you hit this rock, there we go, and you immediately get an Estus shard. The Estus Flask doesn't work quite the same way it worked in Dark Souls 1, and I'm going to get to that in a moment. Oh, I don't need anything there. But first, I'm going to grab this soul here. Oh, this is a life gem. I thought that was a soul. Oh, no, hold on. I remember what the soul is. Just give me a moment. I want to have at least 2,000 souls by the time I get to... There it is. By the time I get to my next destination, and I will show you why when I get there. But on the subject of destinations, one other thing they've added since Dark Souls 1 is the ability to travel from the very beginning of the game. So here's the first bonfire I rested at outside the witch's hut. I can just go straight back there right now if I wanted to, which is amazing. And it's actually a pretty big game, so you'll find yourself using the bonfire travel system a lot. We have this Estus shard, this Estus Flask shard in our inventory, so we're just going to come over to the Emerald
Is that a
Herald.
shard?
Yeah.
Here.
You bring them to
see.
her,
However,
and she will upgrade them for you. And this is actually one of 2 ways you can upgrade your Estus Flask. But I suppose I should get to how the Estus Flask is different in this game first. As you can see, I only have 2 uses of it at the moment. I can only use it twice before I run out. If I had not given her that shard, I would only be able to use it once before it runs out. So that's the first way you can upgrade your Estus Flask. The second way is by finding something called Sublime Bone Dust. And you bring that stuff back to this bonfire in Majula, burn it at that bonfire, and it increases the amount of health your Estus Flask gives you on each use. Which is handy. That rusted coin might come in handy later. I'm not actually sure where I'm going to use it just yet. Rusted coins will increase the chance that enemies will drop items. And I just took a glance at the time. It doesn't look like I'm going to be fighting the first boss in this episode. So instead, I think my next objective is just get to the first bonfire in the Forest of the Fallen Giants, which is the area we're heading to right now. Let's make a little jump. Yaloop. There we go. Awesome. So we're doing pretty good for souls right now. Got quite a few of them. And this is the Forest of the Fallen Giants. These guys are a bit of a pain in the ass, these hollowed soldiers. It's because some of them are carrying around bandit knives, and they have a propensity to flail about like madmen. In fact, here comes one now. I'd really like to get a bandit knife from them, actually. A bandit knife would go really well with the dagger and dual wielding. No such luck. Oh well. I believe there's another corpse over here we can loot. Or am I completely mistaken about that? It appears I'm mistaken. Oh well. As you can see, dual wielding really does up your damage output considerably, and it makes it a lot easier to sort of manhandle opponents. You're a lot more capable of keeping them sort of stun locked than you would be with just one weapon. I should get into just how power stance works just before I conclude the video. The way a power stance works is... Oh, throwing knife. Very nice. Throwing knives are extremely useful. And actually, I'm going to probably buy quite a few of them when I get to our first merchant. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you certainly look like you're dead. Actually, you do look like you're dead, but not dead enough as far as I'm concerned. There we go, another soul. Did you drop anything? No, just a blood stain. Yep. More message. Oh. There appears to be something up there. I've never noticed that before, actually. How did we get up there? Hold on. Well, we're coming close to the end of the video anyway. So I guess now's as good a time as any to just sort of sit down and explain power stances and then maybe wrap it up for now. So the way the power stance works is you need to have the necessary statistics in order to go into a power stance. So, like most weapons, you look at the sword here. It requires 2 strength and 3 dex to use. The dagger requires 2 strength and 6 dex to use. If you want a power stance with a weapon, the statistics you have to exceed these given values by at least 50%. So in the case of strength, I would need to have at least 3, and in the case of dex, I would need to have at least 5, because 1.5 rounded up is 2. So you need to have those stats in order to go into a power stance. If you don't have those stats, or the weapon cannot be wielded in a power stance, you just sort of switched it, as though you were trying to two-hand your offhanded weapon. Actually, this game has done quite a bit to make offhanding a weapon a lot more easy and a lot more viable as a sort of strategy, which I think is pretty cool. You can now wield shields in your right hand as though you were wielding them in your left hand. Let me show you. So, got a shield. You can block with your shield. You can parry with your shield, even though it's in your right hand. And that wasn't something you could do in Dark Souls 1. Which I think is extremely neat. And it's actually... switching hands for certain bosses makes them easier as well. There's a boss later on in the game who has this really irritating shield, but it's really easy to avoid hitting the shield if you just switch so that you're using everything in your left hand instead of your right hand. Actually, we're calling it quits right now. So, if you guys liked what you saw here, and God only knows why you wouldn't, let me know down below. And if you'd like to see more, just hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be doing a full Let's Play of this game, from beginning to end, every single boss. And that includes the optional bosses, so that should be interesting. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and stick around, there'll be more, I promise. Peace.